Okay then guys, what is going on? Cloud Plays here and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Today we have got a load of information with regards to Starfield, some of which are going to regard with New Game Plus and some issues that people are seeing inside of it. On top of that, Starfield companions and relationship romancing. There is some deep dive information that you guys really need to hear about. This one, it's really interesting, from marrying two separate people to talking about their exes. It's a little bit mad. A piece of armor that you guys are definitely going to want to get your hands on, but how do you get it? And we're going to talk about food today inside of the game, as this is a really confusing concept. Now, if you haven't already, smash that beautiful blue thumbs up and subscribe with post notifications turned on. It would be greatly appreciated. On top of that, check out our sponsor, Advanced GG, the #1 clinically proven energy supplement on the market. My favorite flavor is cherry vanilla, but you guys can catch an array of flavors via the link in the description. And if you use code CLOUD at checkout, it'll even get you a cheeky discount. So with that being said, let's dive on in to today's video. Starting off, New Game Plus users, be aware before you jump into New Game Plus. There does seem to be a absolutely ridiculous mechanic, considering how big part of this game is here. There is a large part of the game that you guys may well be knowing about, and that is the ship building. And people are building some absolutely incredible ships inside of this game, some of which are absolutely bonkers and look absolutely incredible. But as this guy right here on Reddit has pointed out, you don't actually get to keep your ships in New Game Plus. That seems like an absolutely ridiculous concept to me, considering it is such a large part of the game. There needs to be some level of like blueprints or anything like that that you can actually utilize to be able to carry these over in New Game Plus. It seems absolutely ridiculous that you are spending so much time building a load of these ships, completing the game for the first time, and running through New Game Plus and not being able to utilize them. Me, myself, I am enjoying the game so damn much that I am playing through every part of the content that it has to offer for me before I actually jump on into any New Game Plus cycle. I'm doing all the side missions and all that sort of stuff, so I haven't actually fallen consequence to this one. But if you guys are finding this a bit of an issue and didn't realize that was going to be the case, loaded into New Game Plus to find that the ships are gone, then let me know via the comment section below. I'm really intrigued to find out if it gives you a pre-warning or not, but it's a little bit mental to think that they segregate such a large part of the game for a lot of players in this manner. It makes absolutely no sense. Another thing that makes absolutely no sense at all is the Starfield companions cannot stop talking about their exes, and players are over it. In an article from Dexerto, they go on to state that Starfield has a plethora of ways to build relationships with your Constellation companions. By the far, the most fun is the potential to romance some of your fellow explorers. If you're lucky, Starfield will even let you engage in polygamy. Granted, marrying two companions looks like a bug, so it's probably not best to try that hard there, but we'll get into that in just a moment. There is a lot of issues inside of this, and we're going to talk quickly about the exes because that seems to be a confusing matter. But somebody put on Reddit why the two male romance options just talk about their exes all the time. Sam out of nowhere started talking about his ex and how he feel about her, and after that he became less attractive. He was my first option, but then I went to talk to Barrett and the same thing happened. 20 years? My brother, in Christ, just shave your head and go to the gym like a normal person. And you know what? It's hilarious because that was definitely the case. I definitely utilised the gym. Didn't shave my head though. Maybe worth a try. But this is a funny concept to say the least. The romance options in this game are quite entertaining, and I think that it's actually a really cool concept to have inside of these games. The romance options inside of RPGs are generally quite a big one, because I feel like when you get into these games, you generally try and build a connection between the characters that you are actually communicating with. Although, if they're only going to talk about their bloody exes, then what is the freaking point? Don't you just hate that person? It does my nut in. But you did hear me right in that previous statement though. Starfield player manages to marry Andreja and Sarah at the same time. Now, a Starfield player takes online to share a peculiar story about how they ended up with two wives in Bethesda's gameplay spanning RPG. One player in Starfield found themselves married to both Sarah and Andreja, sparking a debate on whether it's a feature or a bug. Now, Bethesda Starfield offers limited romance options, but a player player managed to complicate their love life by having an affair and patching things up with an easy persuasion check. Having multiple spouses seems unintended, leading to confusion about whether it's a bug or a planned feature. Now, despite the limited pool of potential partners, Reddit user Scoby Beef somehow managed to complicate their in-game love life to the point where they ended up being simultaneously married to both Sarah and Andreja. Reflecting on their unfaithful exploits, the fan explained that they had an affair with Sarah after marrying Andreja, which prompted the game to instruct them to talk to their spouse. And while they fully expected to get dumped, they were surprised to learn that one easy persuasion check was all it took to patch things up between them without forfeiting the Starfield romance with Sarah Morgan. This is absolutely hilarious because now they have 2 wives. That I don't know how the hell that works, but nonetheless, it is a cool little feature that you guys can get involved with, although apparently if you do it the opposite way round, you will not have Andreja there. So this does lead to a bit of a bug consequence where I don't know if that's actually meant to happen, and whether it will happen or not and continue to be the case, or there's some more complications later down the line. We'll have to wait and see. There's so many different variables here that it's just beyond bonkers. Like, we're legit having affairs into this game. That is absolutely insane. But one thing that is insane is this Reddit user took 10 hours to make this 1-minute video, but it is pretty damn impressive to say the least. This right here just really showcases how amazing these planets are when it comes to the way that they look and the differentiation between each area, each solar system, each planet on its own, as he actually integrates walking through every single area. Now, this looks absolutely incredible, and I'm only going to play part of it for you. Feel like the link is down in the description if you want to go and watch the rest of it, but it just looks absolutely beautiful in my personal opinion. Another thing that looks absolutely beautiful with 3,000 upvotes on the Reddit scaling is somebody puts up right here, found this guy called The Hunter and was wondering if there was a way to get the armor. I found him in both Aquila City and New Atlantis, and I think he looks awesome. Now, after looking through the replies, because I actually haven't come across this guy yet, somebody put, if you want the answer without getting vague responses, you're going to have to get some spoilers. So if you guys want to be able to utilize this piece of armor, then you are going to have to be going down specific routes. Now, like the comment section does state on this, you can just decide to pull your gun out and take a good couple of shots and actually just rip it off him. But essentially, there is a quest line that revolves around this hunter. So before you go ahead and stick a bullet between his eyes, make sure that you think about that, because you may be losing out on potential quest lines that you may want to get involved with. But I can understand the want for it. It does look pretty freaking cool, to say the least. And in final news though, we have a Starfield post right here that states, create anything from basic sustenance to gourmet delicacies at cooking station and put points into the nutrition skill to make food and drink more effective. Now, as an overall, my personal opinion on this is that the food and drink on this is borderline irrelevant. I think that the stat features and the buffs, debuffs, it just isn't really worth your time. You can utilize them for a lot of different reasons, but realistically, they give absolutely no real health benefit, which means that for me, I'd rather be using the med packs or the trauma kit. And the buffs, debuffs, and stuff that these things do provide generally are not worth you utilizing the points into your nutrition skill to really make this worthwhile. I think sometimes it can be quite entertaining once you've really got nothing else to do other than try and focus into some food and gourmet foods, and going from making toast to making full-blown meals is actually quite an entertaining aspect, I guess, for some people. For me, it's definitely not. I'm a chef by day. I really can't be asked with dealing with any more food, and that's just my personal opinion. But this is something that definitely needs a rework. I think that if they actually managed to deal with the hunger and thirst stats inside of this game, where you like actually had some, so you kind of need those there. If you're going to incorporate something like this, you need a hunger stat, you need a thirst stat, and there needs to be some sort of relevance as to why you're actually utilizing water and or food. I feel like if there was more of a hardcore moding where that sort of stuff mattered, and then you could also interpret things like fuel for your ship, where you had to refuel it, you had to deal with all of like the small nitty gritty things of like thirst, hunger, fueling and all of that sort of stuff, then maybe it would be worthwhile. As of right now, though, the food and drink intake in this game is something you could actually play the whole game with and not actually ever have to deal with. That's my personal opinion. Let me know in the comment section what you guys are thinking about this one, but that is unfortunately all we've got time for today. If you haven't already, smash that beautiful blue thumbs up and subscribe with post notifications turned on. It'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks again for watching, guys, and thanks for all of your support ongoing inside of the Starfield content we've got going on here. Appreciate your faces, and as always, I'll see you in the clouds.